rice for us say. I don't pay my Ghana rice and the romantic. What you be yeah, fan of rice for dear, but you when I'm a Ghana rice and now what you get it to. I know your number one can you made rice, I don't you add but your original in taste, your papa, your family, no enfermo. And the channel place a wood TV. Not one side and they teach you that we a restaurant to break that. And now we will be away and a toa, a bread. Set one so good to me, and you so I'm a Ghana rice. And you actually see your eatery. I don't pay bounce and come more in it. But I want one, I won't want to love rice, fried rice, and put you and a rice balls. You know, the quality Ghanaian made rice, as I say, we used to know. And yeah, I'm a Ghana rice. I don't pay one more dollar. And they cry your mama, get your match to be in no airport. Now, what must be more money? Say, I don't pay, who you'll be a professor with the way no AO business. That day, Juma, oh, yeah. I feel to do drop now, tone in here. I don't pay more home or day, not when you are in income, it's answer. Say, work it up 12,400. But your woman to do Mupa at the mouth. Now, watching me at home and young for Swabby Brainano, at the free. Say, open with Quiet Brian. One more one la pass. I just in the echo bank and I said, please contain and I pay when you want more any income. I'm a Ghana rice on 0207 676197 0207 676197 and after 0537 029 464 0537 029 464. Now when I'm a Ghana rice any income out of pay. I'm faster than my ODK Heba Clinic and pay ODK Heba Center. And the romantic, but you're real one crobiano, I see a bit too. So, would you be a young come with your son, sir? You're real heavy at home, Eba. You're real money potato, you're real money paco, how mupa. I don't pay ODK Heba Center for the romantic. But you're real be a show, so what the Nancy a check. Nancy Winya, and no ye a man. I don't pay bra, would Baha, you go to 2 and I said the about. The stroke now, how I drink. Asthma, air tail, infections, I would do. I bet now, so I chronic. But I will fair do a fa. Then so intimate and typhoid, na air tail, fiber. Sciatica, we are bear my why I'm red one pemwa. I'll pay the other young and it's one ODK Heba Center for any income. Now, one more ebejo, so I share. We are reading in an I see a bit to Eddie amount. But your name visit here, not when you need and come up. Now, the year is in riot, the mouth treatment, you do for me now. A purely natural, 100% herbal. And temperature and issues are to body beer. There will need to be a sort of pain. By a say, now when you begin coming, you wanted that form and say, Waba, but you know, be a juba apple. Say, one crying and pattern more Bramakati Hill. You were Akawe Hospital, no and Chewa pair. Kumase, we call Breman West. Come on a shell filling station, no other TV train anymore. ODK Heba Center on 0505 518104. 0505 518104 and after 0544 929758 0544 929758. Now when the ODK Heba Center for ending command of pay now one more ebejo so ashabuapa one more daroma. I don't pay one more to cry. Now, Eclipse Collateral Management for that romantic. But you're a businessman, businesswoman. I don't pay loan be a woman from a commercial bank, a savings and loans company. And a baby, I wouldn't say, who being a loan here. I hear the kind of one movie beside a collateral. I would the air baggage loan. I don't pay Eclipse to some cultures. Loan need you a day at the amount. It's answer. Only collateral, I would the protected the CH. And until I call your corner brasa. Bra, but one more romantic, one more bedroom wow. With collateral and the value is so now a dressika woke up a pedia free bank anymore. I don't try to pay one more year. Said you be to me about my own so business when you see a ship. Not a Jumano any Edia Connie. And what you know, Eclipse and Juma one more year no a business. womo jo property adwuma womo ye de na womo nam sa kwan so abo afoforo pe eno ntia no pe ya ye de nkomo yi wa cho fa numbers no na woni eclipse for any nkomo emo 0266999020 0266999020 and after 030255 so enti fa wo messages no wa gen training na no emra ya beje na ya kenkan ni nyina no e dia ma and ra ye bo wa mane se ade appointment committee in Ghana's parliament womo adwuma se womo edi no womo afrase a womo edi na ebene se womo ebe hwehwemu mapa na fe asoafo ahodo wa mampanyin John Dramani Mahama ebo omudin ni nyina no womo timi atoto womo ano ahwe se womo se ne facha se womo ebetimi ekura dibre a etisa no emu ada now ye ka say no nipa miensa womudin edi kan eba ye dendra vetin ni nyina no abade wie na ehun nkomodie no ye de brow surely na afie watimi ye ho de e course so promises ahodo a every minister si ho aba ni nyina no ye ne o eba bede ho enkomo de di kan finance minister designate Rak Keselato Forsen ana endra odi kan appear before the appointment committee 11 waka ho asem se ebeko in the first budget of a year 2025 and the first budget of the president His Excellency John Dramani Mahama enti we coming to that surely na afi ye di nkomo ewo ho and which you know issues of a year electricity, power, energy related matters. A war mining no John Abdullahi Jinapo, the Honorable Minister Designate, and Eddie Koboni P. Kwaya Womobefa Sua, Enyama Wade Hunsem, any energy Hunsem, no Womo Ebesheni ye, Didi Kaya, Wakaya, and also a Trinkofo Brinano, Adrian Eddie Aquacosi Sodo, yes, ECG. Kwaya womo faso a womo yo mo adwuma no ba bi omo adru se no privatization se ye de bema ankran companies na womo timi manage agigi enyinam kane abo no yie no ni nyina no is on the table they may want to consider privatizing the electricity company of Ghana and it brings back memories gone are the days PDS there were attempt to privatize ECG na enkomodie we no asanso ababiem. We will go details into it na afe yahwe. So what is the way forward? Should it be an amalgamation of Ghanaian companies? I mean, one more the capacity to ensure say one more ebe manage the power distribution sector no effectively. Na one more say and they know and can ye distribute to edema companies, households, government institutions near the end and who seek say buy ho any company no no womunsa etime akana. Now the technical losses and challenges are a can be my ECG actually sika bebre na no e kwan be na wo mo befa so a wo besia no kwan ni nyina no a part of the detailed conversation and opay ye ne expert and as nim before no ebedi ho nkomo na ya hwe se oman no ba bia ya ba bedro no e ho hia se ye de eye enyinam kane ya ho nsem de teacher adwuma ECG eye no ye de be hye ankrankronsa ana na ekoba ne sa enkane abo wo man mu no sei ana besi akọ we private company private business wono ne de ne se obehwe so benya ne mfaso enti no subsidies ne ade ne de it wouldn't come in the use of prepaid meters and then keka ho nyina no will come up for that detailed conversation na anopay yetimi ene wo abosa enkomoi now the Attorney General designate Minister for Justice and Ora Hunsensem EPMO Hewo Veteran no eso as to the legality of the Ora our Mampanyi Mahama Atino and also Eyasem Fofro. But with all said and done, the Attorney General designate Ora Dominica Yene said, I mean, it is not a legal an illegal entity. Say Yebeka say enamra kwan so no wote yenti no enye ku aye papa wo mo adwuma wo mo ba be ni tiamra ne ade no say it is neither here nor there. I mean, so far as say any constitutional body no does not mean say a illegal entity wo mo ede ba betata nkrofo enti a lot more are just in a snapshot and yabobo so ede ama the economy in general kwan Minister for Finance obefa so we yi eye e-levy no any betting tax no everywhere wo mo befa so generate sika de aboa ma amamuo na John Mahama His Excellency ebu no akoyi na wo mo ni so ade hunu nyina no etimi abamu no. I mean, we'll tell you more details about it na yene economist no any financial expert no etimi edi nkomo etise. But first of my yenko na yentie except of a year and bra vetina a course so the edikan a finance minister designate yentie nebra.
demonstrating your readiness and preparedness
Kessben.
to confront the problems of Ghana with greater expertise and finesse than we have seen in the past. So I have a few questions focusing on what my brother and former majority leader and now minority leader raised in his thesis that he read before we started. It's very beautiful. Thesis is not member. Because even before asking, you have made a case demonstrating your readiness and preparedness to confront the problems of Ghana with greater expertise and finesse than we have seen in the past. So I have a few questions focusing on what my brother and former majority leader and now minority leader raised in his thesis that he read before we started. It's very beautiful. Thesis is not member. Continue. Proceed. Number one, will you abolish the e-levy?
Thank you very much, Mr. Chairman. Mr. Chairman, my position on the e-levy is well known. I do not intend to run from it. I've written articles against the e-levy. I championed opposition against the e-levy. I still stand by them. Mr. Chairman, the e-levy is neither a direct tax, indirect tax, or an excise tax. I don't know how to classify the e-levy as a tax practitioner. Mr. Chairman, it doesn't mean that I do not recognize that the e-levy brings in certain revenue. But the fact remains that the e-levy retards our progress towards a cash-light economy and the fintech. We need to abolish the e-levy. I have said, and I'm on record to have said, that given the opportunity to abolish the e-levy, I want to restate that position, that if approved as part of the first budget, I'll be privileged and I will announce that we will abolish the e-levy as part of our first budget, recognizing my area stance and the commitment that His Excellency the President Mahama said that as part of our 120 days agenda, we will abolish the e-levy. We stand by that, and I can assure you the e-levy will go within the 120 days calendar that we've announced. Thank you.
My second question, Honorable Nominee, is Ghana, like many other countries, depends on taxation as one of the major sources of revenue to fund development. As a matter of fact, one of the conditions of the IMF, the current arrangement with the IMF, is to enhance local revenue mobilization. The NDC party promised Ghanaians to scrap a number of taxes. So how do you intend, if you're given the nod as the Minister of Finance, to bridge the revenue gap?
The floor is yours. Mr. Chairman, thank you. Mr. Chairman, let me say this is an excellent question. Mr. Chairman, Ghana currently collects approximately 13.8% of GDP in terms of tax revenue, according to the latest data I've cited as part of the transition. It is obvious that we can do better. I've studied the Ghana economy for some time, and I can say without mincing a word that Ghana has huge potential when it comes to tax revenue mobilization. You don't necessarily have to increase taxes before you rake in revenue. We have the handles. What we need to do is to improve compliance. I will work with the JRA, the tax policy unit of the Ministry of Finance, to ensure that that we increase compliance and to raise the revenue as much as we can. In the medium term, it is my vision, when approved, to increase the revenue from 13.8, tax revenue from 13.8% of GDP to about 16 to 18%. That will be able to compare ourselves to our peers. I believe the potentials are out there. It doesn't necessarily mean we should increase taxes. Yes, we have obviously announced that we're going to scrap certain taxes. We'll stick to just that. But it doesn't also mean that we don't care about the revenue. We care about the revenue.
Yes,
and we'll have to do more revenue.
Except of a year and draw a veteran a course so a war before the appointments committee in Ghana's parliament. I mean, highlighting the issues about taxation and you bet me I say you be mobilizing enough revenue na etimi abua for the nation's development. Mamin call lines so na many a year Prince Obri Yaboa in the enkomo or no a economist and a financial consultant na Endra Utie a year the finance minister designated a lot of a year concerns and already about the e-levy and then the betting tax. So Obri Yaboa Atimika, good morning and Pum to saying
Kessben.
Mr. Speaker, good morning.
Very well. I'm grateful, Sanope. What joining you via Zoom na you bet me anywhere and come. Minim Sandra, what's your finance minister designator? The vetting our call yeah before the appointments committee. Questions are you put here a man or to solicit for the responses are a buy you know enyina. Did kind your initial impressions about the performance generally moving from a deputy finance minister to a substantive minister? There's a huge job ahead of him. Mamintio on his performance generally. Na afe yemra the substantive ones.
Kessben.
My general impression was that it was okay, but he was more economical with this. Some of the statements. Some of the questions
kindly position yourself a bit for me. Or lines not a break apart. Okay, forgive us. If I we'll bring him back again. Network, MIHS, but we'll get him back onto the line. Now, get him and I have this conversation. Very, very much important. And the posture, the answers by any acquire or fast so it deliver any answers. Does it inspire some level of hope to the investors? One more say they will come back to invest in the Ghanaian economy, and as well while we are Ghanaian, promises and only responses I buy. Are you satisfied so far? And does it give you hope, Sir Finance Minister Orato Forcing any Ora John Dramani Mahama, His Excellency Eba Beye Juma, to bring down the burden and then the hardship a war of mine in 2 minutes after 8. Your numbers near 0550-567-929, 0550-567-929, 0550-567-929. And no air numbers are no pay your day air Juma WhatsApp and a fee SMS audio messages and what drink training in no at the bar your beji na yakin kind at the amount. But in a quick one, we'll bring back again Mr. Obri Yaboa, a consultant in the financial sector and a economist as well, to combine not yet no edding combono not ya say I mean solutions to forcing a prophecy ninano and no anda. But before we get back to him, main kind crata we are abba Edward Nanaya Quarantine, Chief Executive Officer, Minerals Income and Investment Fund, Accra, DR Quarantine, revocation of appointment as Chief Executive of the Minerals Income and Investment Fund. I write to formally inform you that His Excellency John Dramani Mahama has revoked your appointment as the Chief Executive Officer of the Minerals Income and Investment Fund, effective immediately. You are directed to hand over your duties to the President's representative at the Ministry of Finance. The Honorable Dr. Ato Forsen will oversee the operations of the fund until a substantive chief executive officer is appointed. The president extends his gratitude to your service, for your service to the nation. And this is signed by Dr. Callistus Mahama, Executive Secretary to the President. And the Minerals Income and Investment Fund, MIF, Chief Executive, Anna Ene Krate, HSA, Omampenya Sakeno, Wayinedi, said one fan of Jumano, and Fanto. Mamin come back, na Yenny Mr. Bria Boa, into me, and in Comboy. Mr. Bri, what him in Kansas say? What him in Kansas say?
Rami Pasha, very clear.
Very well. I'm grateful.
Very well. I'm grateful for sensitivity. I want to make
initially on the general impression of the finance minister designate. The responses, the posture, and the kwanya of us so a yin semnano. Now I feel you the details of it.
Right. My man Sancha was chief for Nyaphobia. They're not the ocean demeanor now of the Tewa was very okay. You look calm. He looks like somebody who knew the person or Babaye. He was not intimidated, especially a man no near at all. A man at tough time, no. He took his time. He never looked provoked, even when some of the questions seems like a bit aggressive, no. But he was very calm as usual. And Mecca said he was a bit economical with some of the responses. Apparently. Now on person be committee who be brave issues ni be home, and on the whole no, I think say he did quite well. I can only wish him well.
You can only wish him well, but yamra the substantives and the kind taxation issues of taxing the Ghanaian people kwanya yebefaswa and no ebe assist revenue mobilization for a buying budget obey for 2025 now. The minister designate promises, just as President Mahama has said, no, first budget airway, Nam Kwanso airway, e-levy will be abolished, betting taxing so ebeko. Now the question was put to him, say a body say who yi sa taxes in no edia free honoma. A quine ben abefaso enyesika edia de opesa wo de ye ewo abaemu. Or say rather tax compliance and ehu hia say SSA and GRA it may facilitate your moneyama na it may boa and not necessarily overburdening the people with taxes. Mamintio on that, is that the preferred solution ebetimi ateki us of the mess you won't say?
Complaining about inadequate revenues in terms of tax collection. Na ubia ba na sama waka say we must expand the tax network. We must expand the tax network. But su kwaya be faso a e be increase and na say be expand your tax network and dey ubia ntimi mfanya adan MI. Nti so akọhwe a akaye nipa kakra bi na ye formal setup no eno na yetua eto dodo na nti ye sika ne de wo ye de ntimi mfa bi mfa baabi a de ubenya bia no akoye se utua tori eden e wo so ntimi ne ya adwene but he telling us that oba be expand no is something we have heard it over and over idea ya tinu mpe bebre obi bia wa bedi o man akoye bia akasa asem no. But the critical question we be ntimi no mayen now e kwanya we move fast why dey I expanded the tax bracket no enti menene ya but mpempi no say abaiba so fufuo say we enjoy certain level of goodwill ema ewo oman ni mu say so kind decision about tax revenue and tax generation you must take it now and all take you know MPP all the opposition parties must help him because anytime we will be taking critical decision the other parties take political advantage of it. At the end of the papa but they criticize you na ama abamubua but we end up so big guy and yamana or yana never born man but yeah.
Kessben.
Hello. Jabri Uchibenka.
question we said you will nipa bebre wo krom ha omu si dan anas omu si fie aba omu fie a eto once the cry fie na omu si no obekọ no ni apagya fie na si honom efie ni apagya si hono no eya lebrafo na ye adwuma wo ho meanwhile efie ra no entua to ba akokora emra so se bi na ye beba na se wapagya da ye si hokora na Ghana Revenue Authority should be able to ask you tax bodo a wutua na dan na wapagya si wo no emfa ho ne ketwa bi a eye when we begin to do things abnormal way ne there ya succeed. So we must begin to do things abnormal way enti e ba begina ufie yi what's your way a liberal for year adwuma ho no withholding taxes na wutua ye eniema building materials na okotoye no withholding taxes na ye den wutua ye ne sa ne wu se emra ne beka everybody will be compelled to pay the tax. Last week we didn't come and the suggestion for buy ona obitina abontin ere bodua dodo na ama ekofie SHS ye nyina national health insurance no so edie ye amana ye sustainable abani should cap so many things to those social interventions if you are not paying taxes your world cannot benefit from you can say free SHS.
Yes, but that
because
I remember
Intina make us say all the political parties, both MPP and NDC, must be on the round table.
Yes.
Because you will judge it there. For the akrokone na de any a kasa de any Ghana for the kasa, including your mama no moko or momu free maternal health care. Still, omu entia eto. Emano yama yewu at that time. As I may enjoy free SHS. Say free SHS. Because he said the cost involved I the run this program and idea at that form. Meanwhile, Sanko Fuenina no Omuma many omu papa mu omu bi kura no omu ye kwadwuma nketenkete omu ye bodwa masam ne say there should be a free will bia obi mobile money say we pay as you earn a PAYE a ye adwuma for tetewa mobile money bosume so say even 5 cedi krana abani should be able to come out with the mechanism bia at least Ghana need to within bosume non ontia to bosume bia 5 Ghana cedi those in the informal sector and their mobile money account their MTA account with their Ghana card account and all those things must merge with their tax identification. Then those on the site, I keep referring to say so many sikano. Budwana kogu site, ukura site, a diamond project ya airco show binding up to be under the influence. It leaves much to be desired. And we have to be very bold because to achieve success brabomuno and now hogono one money and that day to America dinner and now they are being achieved a very unpopular but in the long run no aban obenyesika e dey manage economy no e dey ma o minor ye.
Yes, but material will come into
details. It is something
Finance Minister designate said he would rather think of ways of compliance. I mean, the wabo boss no we already have existing laws in making sure taxes, property rates near the you bet me ajeje. But because of the lack of compliance, yentimi enya the enough revenue from all these sectors wabo boss. I mean, gone are the days Dr. Baumia any NPP are buying treble no ebo homo day. Emma Ghana ni bia or Ghana card bia and say say the Ghana card identification number was the tax identification number as well. And implementing some of these things and enforcing what the laws are required, I mean, will not just be a difficult thing to do. And vis-a-vis, you agree with the minister, but in the interim, e-levy, any betting tax, should it necessarily go? Mitie unkomo yani baby awa free our day beya.
Kessben. This be a difficult thing to do. I think this.
Okay, Mr. Bree will get back again. 30 minutes after 8. Yes.
What Baba Menya club?
Me too, pa, me too, nka.
Kessben.
Very unfortunate. 30 minutes after 8. This is Kessben. Pacho, your numbers no 0550567 0550567 and no your numbers are your day Juma anope. Enti yene economist and financial expert Mr. Obri Yabua ana edin komo anope about and koma and dra ekoso ewo Parliament appointment committee no enim.
Kessben.
Mr. Biltimenka.
Loud and clear.
Okay, mami ntio twaso mami.
It said that now something happen. It has to do with the compliance and before the Ghana for Suni buying. So we see who JBBA the Amaya say yenya yamfa prim ana enya bibia ni hono ma ye beye enti aban no eseso ma na ni ye den na ye nyina no together we can achieve something. Said now the deputy minister designate the vetting process no we have just around 13.8% per ana ye contribute to the whole GDP in terms of tax payment. Something it will form too much. Again, one of the ways and then we are talking about digitization. Emerson said all our vendors say incubate me the QR system about a dear payment here. Can also babua amo mining your sika bibre. But over Ghana, your system you're developing is such that your per cash holding the they are easy avoid the tax payment. We should create several payment platforms and digital. There should be a conscious effort on the part of government. So you should digital platform. Christmas minyakwe to quite briefly. Mirror lending say if we be go pay and no ana train system ni nyina we ma sha ase dey platform. What are we doing as a country? Ye se bibi ase a ye mani nkosi enkowie ni eja dey ato onum. So ye tumi create that digital platform so dey ama all merchants e wo mamu a make before so that people who are doing business ye na ye kwa akoto abeton ni omo beton nyina no that digital platform na ATS kana. Eventually the government will be able to announce a lot of revenue go a long way should also promote that digital payment platform so the loopholes in the system no so doing or putting all this together with aggressive enforcement I don't know, but you should consult the tax expert. If outsourcing in terms of property rate, outsourcing because all the community panel, she cannot work no 10% here. They will be more willing to go and bring the money. Then you set up audit team on mobile fetch. But for now, we need to think outside the box and see how we can generate enough revenue.
But the usage of digital systems there, I think say baby I do as a country, any Juma Dr. Baomi and Nanado Danko Ekufuado, I mean we should not have challenges about digital payment system because interoperability Juma say kase government pay.gov ewoho oko citizens app on the sonsua. I mean you are able to do all your payment opesa we ni nyina no ye apps aban elanche under the leadership of Dr. Baumia. I mean Ghana Revenue Authority or taxes SSA utie nyina and wutimitua the citizen app no eso ECG electricity bill SSA utia Ghana Water. I mean opesa utia o pension through Senate ni ade ni nyina no ewo ho. But the question is that how familiar is the Ghanaian to be able to use this technological apps ebetimi aboa advance the payment of a year and yema a year bobo so nyina.
It has to do with education. Omuna uma kodum pempen so madwe ayedi omu eye benchmark isia uma de no. Isia de form no. Enye dakope ana omu sha ase a uma kodum pempen so uma dwe. Omu sha ase free baby. And said the mobile money eba Ghana in the year 2009. It took a conscious effort, and with the intervention of Bank of Ghana said no, this is the way we want to go. And omu make key regulatory environment very friendly at the mawumu and next over Ghana ha today we shoot mobile money. I think that you bet me I sa and your money be ebeba be na usha mobile money asia and the year 20 now even as at 2011 na omu ni customers be, but they saw that there's a need for them to change their approach. They went to Bank of Ghana. Bank of Ghana made some changes in rules on the electronic payment platform. And the Ghana need be a mobile money. What has left for us to do? And they said, as I said, you take a conscious effort. Not that QR code payment system no, and yet easy. Enti ukuta phone, uta de, utonye ya woni pakona bo. What the phone eto so then the option to approve na da honum kekere 1 minute na ko. There are several benefits here then you binya wo mu ebebo ama tax revenue no ebeko so. Two, the cost involved in printing of currencies edemo ma we ebeko from considerably. We spend so much money in printing or reprinting of currencies. Ni nyina no ebefiru. Three, akonfo eba bedu sika kra na and then onya physical cash in front through and nam say a robust system na obi use the digital platform t or do phone no kwa no use sika de kwa. We can easily trace where the money went and found the number of account or transfer is kana kotum. We can trace from transaction 1 to the last destination of the transaction. So there are several efforts and benefits with money. So the government should make a conscious effort that digitization drive at the previous government we will not allow it to die off naturally, but you better pick with combination of 24-hour economy and all the other good policies
Very well. Mr. Mamina Wasiano Pay, I'm highly grateful for your time.
Kessben.
Very well. And to Mr. Obri Yabua, a economist and financial consultant, speaking to us at Opay and bringing us to exactly 21 minutes after 8. This is Kessben. Pacho, shedding some mommy say your numbers in 055-0567-929. 055-0567-929. Beneath Kwame Appiah Kubi, Mr. Speaker, highly grateful on Maakye and Opay across the country. Baby, out here free whether on DSTV, on channel 364, and our Go TV channel 121. So what share ewo multi TV deje box no so and pay ba yena was on your digital TVs asida enchi and pay thank you so much on radio 92.9 but en komo aye di no we'll get back again to the other aspect na afi yahwe na yetime anywhere din komo no messages ni bi aba mame enkan bi enfama na afi yento aso enye adwuma. Good morning, Mr. Speaker. I want to express my sentiment regarding yesterday's vetting process in Parliament, wherein President John Dramani Mahama's ministerial nominees were scrutinized. The reduction of ministers is a prudent decision as it pertains a more streamlined and efficient governance structure. However, upon careful consideration of the appointees' responses, I harbor a lot of reservation regarding the finance minister designate, the Honorable Dr. Kessben Forsen, whose demeanor and policy orientation appear to be reminiscent of the Atamils, seemingly what equally happened in that approach. I am a person of Andrews, thank you for a message at the free bantima at the ABBA. I'm highly grateful. We say good morning, Mr. Speaker. Why is it that our favorite show is not on air. Okay, it is always on air. Enti ebeba anope after morning show. No, we say good morning, Mr. Speaker. Ghana, we are going back. Otuado came and then nothing happened, and today too, John Mahama is in without anything better. Thank you for a message. We say good morning, Mr. Speaker. Indeed, the president's nominees are doing fantastic at the vetting, which occurred yesterday. Yet, we need them to get to work as quickly as possible. The finance minister designate has promised to take off the e-levy, the betting tax, and then e-levy. That is what we expect of them, because that is what they promised the Ghanaian people. Nothing more and nothing less. Thank you for a message. Kofi Adai, I'm grateful for a message. We say good morning, Mr. Speaker. Let it be known to the Ghanaian people that President Mahama will honor all his promises, regardless of the difficulties we find ourselves as a country. Andrew Okai, thank you for a message. Once again, Alhaji Hamza Eddie B. Abba Pig Farm and Ubutu Osi. Good morning, Mr. Speaker. It is in my humble opinion that restructuring and cutting the size of the ministry from 30 to 23 is the best way to go. At least this will go a long way to cut down the waste and save some monies for the real-time development of our country. Alhaji Hamza, thank you for a message out of the Free Pig Farm. We say good morning, Mr. Speaker. Indeed, President Mahama is at work. What he is doing is the best for our country. Information is the same as communication. So those who do not understand why the information ministry has been dealt away with must equally come to terms with the fact that the communications ministry would do the same as they used to do. Titi Ewokwada, so he sent in that one. Titi, thank you for a message. We say good morning, Mr. Speaker. Indeed, Ghana is working again, and the reset is going to happen in due course. God bless John Mahama and bless the team. And also there with the abano numbers is 0550 567 929 0550 567 929 and no numbers and pay ya de ejuma enti o de messages no eba ya beje na ya kan ni nyina e de ma mene the executive secretary at the Ghana Association of Savings and Loans Companies on the finance minister and Koma and Bra Okodi award the appointment committee. Mr. Chunebo Akodi, I want to make a good morning and pom to saying
good morning, Mr. Speaker.
na mesro position who ye kakrama me na yente unka ye. There are a few breaks in the line. Okay. But not to me can say.
Yeah, Mr. Speaker.
Yes, Meton Kase say, Medasi Papa. And your initial impression about Finance Minister designate in the performance at the appointment committee na yentuaso ni nkomo.
Meton Kapa.
Yes, maybe sir, your initial impression about the performance of Ato Forsen and Bra at the appointment committee.
Kessben.
Zakodi Abachotimenka. So unfortunate. Very well. We'll come back to it. 27 minutes after 8. Hi, Kessben, 92.9. Now, Maakye.
Yeah, Kwame.
I'm pumped to say. Internet he had the pagina no paper papa. Yes, Otemenka, I'm asking of your initial impression about the performance of the finance minister. Na yeni ho enkomo.
Yekota asundwe yeyi mpanimfo foforo a eduma ehye metonka pa.
Yes, to aso mame. Zakodi ya to aso mame metonka.
Kessben. Kessben.
Very well. We'll bring him back on the line. Now, Maakye, let me go to make sure and make.
I can't be you soon.
Yes. What's the man of pay? Maybe I walk on there.
Yamia Domara Kwabia Boko.
It's a year.
Yes, ye pa.
Okay.
Papa will name the Kame Onosunim de Pa, Kamenini Kasa, Kabeme de Pa.
You will get him back on the line. Now, you're timid in Richard for motor lines in the so now. You use your phone lines in the moment na internet break it too much. Na yen to so na yen income. But Andra, any finance minister nko na eko appointment committee no enim. The energy minister designating so eko PMO ewo ho. Ma yentie Ora Abdullahi Jinapo on some of his responses about the energy sector na yen to so enfrio.
Kessben.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chair. Let me take the opportunity to also congratulate the honorable member on his nomination. There's something that is on the hearts and minds of most Ghanaians, and if we all have a way, we will contribute to ensuring that it doesn't become a headache again. The issue of the inconsistency in the power supply, given the nod, what are you going to do? I have seen you do take some pragmatic steps to aid the president. In the long term, what will you do to ensure that our power and our electricity supply stays on? Thank you.
Thank you very much. Honorable nominee. What will you do to ensure our power stay on?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Mr. Chairman, we have a current installed capacity of about 5,260 megawatts, a dependable capacity of about 4,800 megawatts. We've just hit a new peak demand of 4,100 megawatts. Our grid system is very, very resilient. We've upgraded a lot of our lines from 161 to 330 and 331 kVA lines. So they are quite robust with a lot of injection of primary substations. The first problem we need to address is the issue of fuel. Fuel supply is a major problem confronting the sector. Currently, we have a deficit of about 40 to 60 mm of gas. If you take the gas from EA9, gas from Jubilee 10, and then gas from M-gas, and you put all together, you still have a deficit. And so you have to be depending on some level of light crude oil, some level of heavy fuel oil, and some level of distillate fuel oil. Our immediate objective will be to bridge that gap. We've met Jubilee partners, we've spoken to the partners and the operators, Talo, we've also spoken to Ghana Gas. We are currently doing 100 mm SCAF. We are Singapore, you on the 18th of September 2024 alluded to the fact that when the matter of ECG was up for discussion, we stated that the decision to have a private sector participation wasn't what was good for ECG. However, you have the candid and considered opinion that the interference by politicians and the fact that we need to weed off political interference was the way to go. Fast forward on the 17th, on or around the 17th or the 7th of January, you were heard again on radio stating that you think that the only way forward was to have private sector participation, especially in the metering and collection sector of Ghana Electricity Company. Now, my question to you is, and you back this particular position with the fact that ATC and C, which you just alluded for, and for the benefit of Hansa, we are talking of aggregate technical, commercial, and collection losses, was 40%. Could you please give this committee the breakdown of these 40% losses in terms of A, T, C, and C in the various sectors? of that particular aggregate figure. Mr. Chairman, first of all, I'm surprised that this allegation has been leveled against me, because I've remained consistent that there should be a private sector participant in the distribution, especially, like you said, billing and collection. When I was Deputy Minister, I led the process. When Honorable Sateke became my supervising minister, he made me lead the process of privatization. I led the team to India, I led the team to Uganda, I led the team to Kenya to learn from best practices. So I'm surprised, and let me put on record that I've been very consistent that we need private sector participation at the distribution level, except that I disagreed with the format of the PDS, and I maintain that we can do it better. The ATC&C, I think, is about 23% for the technical, and the remaining is the commercial.
34 minutes after 8, this is Kessben 92.9, Kessben TV live on Facebook and Kessben FM 92.9, and so live on Facebook. More Yusu DSTV, no, channel 364 is live on DSTV, channel 121 live on Go TV, and then on your digital TV, Unyaye on Aseda TV. Highly grateful and pay for your time with us. Mamin Court Namine. Dr. Daniel Appiah any enkomo embra na wano governance expert as well about public sector reforms any any hunkeka hunyina na I mean wamudi mu akotine ye from the University of Ghana the Public Administration Department na meneno any enkomo. Doc Otemeka, good morning. Nempom to say hello, Doc Otemenka. Doc Otemenka, good morning.
Kessben.
Hello. So unfortunate. 35 minutes after 8. This is Kessben. Nana, my member was so na one monitor kakra. Maminchia, Madame Fubako war Addis Ababa, the African Union headquarters in Ethiopia, and Ope Joseph. Yes, and Ope Joseph all the way in Addis Ababa. Joseph also appeared there. Don't have friend Joda. Joda, good morning in Addis Ababa. And Ope Muhunyina, I say African Union for Yachiamu. My member was so na yeni enkomo about issues and dry course so before the appointment committee. We'll bring back the expert yet try say you don't be enkomo via Zoom. Richard, for almost phone lines no yeni enkomo free or the internet is disrupting the program. Na yento aso en free ho. Na mamintio na yento aso.
Yes, Kwame. Mr. Mamenya me passionate appeal bi Kwame. Kwame wa hu yanimu ase ball bi egu animu ano.
Ahefa
yanimu hayai with as that 20 opposite one ball and you gone.
Ayi ho no mono your friend is a bus stop
one. Titole yanimu hayai.
Yes.
Kwame, have you seen the baller?
And brass many tries.
One baller out sa baller no.
Yeah.
On the ground. A door swat to the stand say Kwame, many times 2 as a 3 I will fire service for anymore.
I will a overhead nasi.
Overhead nasi. Baller sumo. And a fire service for anymore. And also baller sumo. Kwame.
And I hear maybe a traffic lights you who could run about to now back.
Aye.
To a TikTok lane had no boy. Maybe a trotro for the parking or no more. Overhead nasi horn so almost to be a gua.
Yes, Kwame. And La Paz Kwame etime. La Paz from Niboy, Ufi Niboy side hoba.
Yeah.
Move 100 meters beyond 50 meters. Ye hippo baller Kwame. Who do Amagana opposite? Amagana rice. Omo office no opposite. La Paz baby a fakan. A background Kwame. Baller pa egu you be shocked. Medina Market. Malata Market Kwame. Na baby a near the baller bebu Ghana. Makola. Makola Cantamanto Kwame. Chese. Sese Kradem is. What is really the problem, Kwame?
Okay. Now remember no what do passionate appeal that was. But me nko Mr. Kwame Appiah Kubi aso. Mr. Kubi ambacho otimenka. Good morning.
Good morning, Mr. Speaker.
Fache ya dope internet na frustrating the papa. Normal, but you went to us here, Juba. And now me bisa quick one. As president, executive secretary at the Association of Savings and Loans. I mean, economic policies do no affecting Mujumedia Mudi. But my initial impression, especially you in particular, about Ndra finance minister performance opoti up at the vetting na afeyen to aso ninkomo.
Yo, me da wase na Maakye wati ko no ahwefo nyina na yaka cho bia say mu bia afihia na sisi anso ya to abawie aban foforo Ndra finance minister oba be hwa so ya yen ye mu adwuma no parliament to na no ye de ye hwa ye hwe beside who say policies ben and abano war bano or de eba de abeboa ama savings and loans for ejuma ye serve more than 7 million customers omo ehun ebe ha omo ama investors so confident akosura na. That is where we look at, and we share some of the policies now. Partnering with the private sector. No, one of the key things enye no keke nimum de osie ebe yo beya ye ni nkita hodie no ebetumi akonenim ade ba ko biem so ye say o hwe ase ne udi kan say.
Hello, Mr. Kubi Achimenka.
Business do no multi-billion-dollar business. Name boja any family business and community business. And a hono momo so na yen member savings and loans companies no e support pa. Enti se aban no wo aniswade hunu se e bibi te se o se obe support SMEs ya. O support SMEs a yen expect say omo this can be kwa share SMEs in them. Nemum pass it through the sector, the system. What the bema yen institutions no say muna munim omo ji loan omo tua. No so be ma liquidity aba non-bank sector no. Again ebeboa ma yen institutions no so no ye de niam abegu akwam so okay so wo pese wo nsa eka ana wo kan aban dwumadie we ho a wo corporate governance wo risk management wo operations say ni and also be share wo mo bomodin ni nkunan amoma ye ne more so we are building businesses for the Ghanaian people themselves in the we are very confident, sir. Abano and a minister Obano Obuneni Ewu Niama Sunemum Obema near co non-bank sector no because Usha Ghana Hana a previous criminal na non-bank sector no had a lot of support. Into this support we want to see free Abaya waba for frono. Yeah, so yedika kra chro ade call the office of the president and sankra yedini bisi so say yasu ya ready ya hoboa say ye beboa no ama nani so ade hu no sansa se ye boa no ma nani so ade hu no koso a ye Ghana nyina na ye koso efie mu be koso businesses be koso abusia e be koso nti we stand to support the government vision. And the BMO so you say you hear some restructuring for the industry. Uko amanone even Africa here, Kenya, Uganda, Rwanda. Uko wa ube say abaina kasa wo specific in say microfinance industry no savings and loans for the account.
Yes.
And we want to see this. A banyo chairman yebi ye drafted national microfinance policy. Adeba kwa ye says Parliament minister etumwa minister designate etumwa naso yeso ni no be minister ye ne betena se na ye ne no edi nkomahwe how a policy no a bit to me akonenim ye beji atum ebi mu so ye emra ye debo non-bank sector no ho ban no
okay
bosha most of no ya na quite say ye the savings and loans for the finance house for fra banks but banks you may deal unique from savings and loans companies enti adentina yen hwe kwan a ye be fa so a ye be pe asuye bia specifically for the microfinance sector savings and loans for no more pushy that sector on say Kenya for use credit union microfinance they developing our economy
yeah
e ho say wo ko ha transport system or adwuma wo Kenya city no about 99% are owned by the SACCOs, that's the credit and savings cooperatives. Njade nti na yenso yentumi nhwe say yenso Ghana de na yebe tumi aya ye de beboa e ma nwuma akoso no mo fa nwuma because we share savings and loans for mo be bia wo Ghana ha say every region be bia adwuma kase ntimi nkono obedu ho na microfinance savings and loans e wo ho nti ye de ye wa reshemu say honorable atofos na parliament atotuna no so omo gini tumu ye ne be ye adwuma na Ghana afa ntuma pa enso afra.
Very well, but Andra, the needed response no ebaya na because you say in the debt restructuring program no a lot of your members no in your haircut one more do musika ato commercial banks no so akoye investment government bonds ni ade a omoto ye maturity aso ye ntimi antua ni ade haircut abem bebre na wo no ma maturities no ya postponing payment of the principal and then interest SSA banning na but per the ato force na kan no moanya the rightful hope say ene no sabino is in full shape mon crofo a musika kodi mu nyina no abai betua ne back e de ama omo ana
ye de ye ni eda so ne se ade biara ebeboa amasika sem akonenim Ghana ade biara ebeboa ama aban no enyi businesses in free ho because baby to say aban no timi boa ma inflation ba form treasury bill rate e ba form a feel ye betumi ama more loans e betumi people so benya reshemu di sika ba beto ye ho nti saa nema ne koso a ye de ye wogidie se e betumi aboa ama ya sistema koso DDP edene de aba betwam de de koduru ho no ayade a ye nyina ye hyem plan se ma yen enko ho biem ade ba akopa de koduru ho ne se interest rate na ekosoro bebre and a treasury bill na abino de ye free bibi se crowding out businesses ke se woni private sector no si akan efa sika e wo se ye de investment aban de investment inti ye de ye wa reshemu ss fundamentals no efa ntuma pesa ye businesses no be konenim ni na jina.
Hello.
Omu issue policy without engaging with us.
Okay.
We assume anopo anajo ebeba no bi mo so kra na yentwen mo mo mfra ye kra ansa di kan kra atro we di akoto ho se ya ye ready
okay
nti abribi ha no
doors are open.
Your customers. Mr. Speaker, me say so far last year loans and savings and loans for the Maya. Hey, I say me share books no I say na me who agree me. Me say loans are increasing so much from 2 billion. To see our loan balance cry bro, that's 4 billion, 7 billion. So deposit here now what form to see our deposit has also risen. Your total assets last year moving from 7 billion to 9 billion. And you want to say your customers know what we should be with you. And you can't say you do more. And you can't say your savings and loans members so be a more than say the customers will move the journal or maybe dig journal pay him open doors. And Mwebia also a Bank of Ghana, and so bit media buano, even young famwa, na in and when you say Ebeboa.
Very well. Mr. Godia, I don't pay my man, and now was a papa. And Mr. Kwame Appiah Kubi, Executive Secretary at the Association of Savings and Loans, and Appiah speaking to us. But Bamene, Ruben Insia, any and Como Executive Secretary at the Sesam, and Appiah, he's speaking to us, the Center for Environmental and the Akika Kahunina. Maakye.
Me boche ya oni mi company jindi eh asemo
oboche
me boche ya oni Center for Environmental Management and Sustainability
there be body na no diabolic there yo be be find there
have had boche ba jola bia work there
already had them so be oh baby one page am see already
Mr. Speaker
Berendra minister are converted hear ni mo say obeteki the seat at the Energy Ministry na afeyetimi edin komo but the take out from the vetting no mamintio we initial impression on it na yentu aso
yeah me ho free vetting minister designate
you on the 18th of September
and are you prepared to work to resolve these challenges I was sector. That is what I've seen and say obi to me I resolve the challenges no there's always a time lag that and I say we tweak as that in a betray.
Now the substantives a
bit and consider opinion that
promises we power authority any VR the edikai one more say aban ebekasa companies me no abom na ababeya one na afi womwenya other 2 major departments under 8 and no the major of 2 major authorities see and which minister mentions I mean the consideration to privatize the electricity company of Ghana is as well on the table na omunsu suyemo no womo pese expert ana lead that particular arrangement and just as PDS hun sensem koba bebre this time round they've learned lessons so concessionaire and the beboa they will go ahead but committee made up of 7 members experts lawyers war financial background ni nyina nso na afi yahwe ne yede ho enkomo baby ayedre isn't it too early to say sir conversations you betimi dey up.
Oh, it is, and it is not, depending on how you look at issues. But I would have wished, Samiba, it is too early now. I would have wished Minister Designate, and I say, Abaya, what you could have from what we call a social impact assessment, because you are going to sell an asset of Ghana, and there was research, to find out what Ghanaians perceive or think about this whole privatization and how it's going to affect their daily lives.
Okay.
You have to do the social impact assessment, which is a research area that I also carry out to know what Ghanaians feel. At the end of the day, Obitimia is 7 experts, but 7 experts may not hold the larger opinion of the masses. They are various interests, and they pushy these guys into making a final determination of the privatization of UCE. So you need a social impact assessment. I don't think that it will take less than 6 months to even finish that particular report. Maybe that is the early part. Now the not early part, it's also in the sense that they also know car was sector one. ECG now has nobody in common say what broken and all broken no. Someone must pay. And this is a private equity in a bit me abba ama yetimi etia kana. Then anybody who am private equity to be able to redeem our debt and make ECG very reliable in terms of say obitimi a supply power area my. That is one. Now two, and so there's a ECG distribution losses are and distribution losses the more na oh my Ghana in 2017 around 23.4%, even 24%. And TMR PRC benchmark of about 24% say that benchmark on Obroswa is not allowable. Obroswa one also secretary, but that 24% you factor it into the tariff structure so that no it is allowed for you to incur those losses. And I know na your position is so because you want to South Africa for Kenya for any amount this one more than 10%, maybe 7%, maybe 4%. But I am quite 24%, but that is what PRC position here. Now say no about 30%. So we have exceeded our allowable benchmark with respect to distribution losses by the discourse. So Jaima privatizing within the shortest possible time. I am buying on a consumer media. Distribution losses percent cost so the problem. But now the other part also the redundancy of the whole system. ECG adwuma for asabi omomfata and omundi be so be adwuma ho. Ebi musu kra nya adwuma obekọ they have overstaffed. Until overstaffed no ebi tifi omunya adwuma and even overstaffed no they are not very effective. Because I think the one thing resolve a lot of challenges at the localized level. They are not also efficient in terms of managing their issues. Many are so meter dum ofie and I say ofia ofre ECG I be take you 1 month no my. So person say meter and cardia was say free no be take you corner bra sometimes 6 months for you to get meter. Even though they have a lot of staff but effectiveness and efficiency is not attained. And there's a lot of the redundancy there. Be na abide say ye or mountain termina privatization privatized person no very rationalize the employment of ECG and then make sure that at the end of the day you sue employees are best level with efficiency and effectiveness company into and lastly no be an abide says or check a crack political interference is one of the major reasons why ECG into Mabafra. This me check a crack interfere in the operations of ECG. So let's find a private person to take over and then manage it and make sure that it becomes very viable, very profitable, and also give us a stable and uninterruptible power. I think that maybe anything by a social, but before we need a social impact assessment.
Yes, the social impact assessment they are very key because I keep asking myself, sir, I mean the cost of energy in the hands of a private person, Sena ABC Accord, especially for industries and households. The average Ghanaian already complaining almost use prepaid meters, the brainazzi meters, no cry you same boat meters, and yeah, they are airboa. And I mean, how should all this interest be factored into the new arrangement, Minister? I mean, a proposing.
Yeah, me know meters no TN route minister designate now. Or terms the meters no almost 3 million of them are malfunctioning. And it tells you that procurement is also a problem at ECG. Who procured them? Why did the fellow procure malfunction meters? And some of these things because the ECG before private started privatizing whatever I want to do, we need to also audit and investigate all their managerial and financial decisions or muteki because there will be the 3 million meters are by Papa. Also some prosecution must be done. So at the end of the day, Ghanaian never suffer. Because in a Ghanaian suffer, company needs suffer. In a company, book 8 billion Ghana cedis, 6 billion Ghana cedis, with huge liabilities of 47 billion Ghana cedis. So, obi decision na mayako. It is a prosecution being a wire and prosecuting the panel. So that serves as a warning for any particular person who managing state entity badly. And yes, I obi abebabe sum na wase na sana abia wakope wadibabia tana.
Then finally, the proposal to merge a Yabui Power Authority and then the Water River Authority, is that the right way to go? And then
okay, I think such proposals were not made by this government. One of the advisor, World Bank, Ghana, they say your generators now state-owned entities. everything major. And no even some of the regulators in the sector, Energy Commission, PRC, there was this proposition of merging them. Do have both manifestos, NDC and MPP. They were very straightforward with some of these entities. They will say a merger. Now the importance is that you see, these two entities are equity no Kessben and equity Kessben on between Abobusunya and the reason why VRA sometimes is not able to make profit is because of the thermal side. Because we power authority since its inception, say we power authority no, averagely will make profit. Averagely will make 340 million Ghana cedis a year. Okay. Or a profit making entity. VRA also has that capacity or ability to make profit, but because of the thermal side now, sometimes Oboka a Jamframabi, natural gas, meaning Yamabi, another buying into any money no. But VRA no ne profitability volatile or Timi Boka Kakra no or make a profit kakra. So say imagine one thing no a bit Myanmar. Two companies at one ebe make a profit because it also lead to certain retrenchment. Ebe yinkophobia di. And then obi oya more we no how baby hydro manager no. Uko VRA or sansi hydro manager. But you mumi enu dia at least there are one director. Now you have two guys obey but all these companies have different directors. So you better rationalize employment na ye bi but administrative and general expenses no. Even though it's no crowd, but still a from kakra. Aside that, and so no, there's what we call economies of scale. Yeah, major no more equity cost in terms of purchases, or more to be a from on or better ne kesimu, or motor ne kesimu na mas bonus what a bonus goes to benefit this particular new arrangement. So that the reason why I'm also merging these companies is about cost and being efficient.
Okay.
To come in about be efficient. Now, lastly, at the back of the PRC, no private person, no civil society, no government agency should allow themselves to be blackmailed by public utility workers union. That blackmail not true because you were there and these companies were making losses. You never uttered a word. You never uttered a statement. What is privatization now? Wouldn't say you be no. Now the statement about no blackmailing whatsoever. That is what happened at Tor. When Tor wanted to privatize, there's a worker union at Tor from petroleum and chemical workers, whatever they call them. They came here. Today, Tor is in debt of almost 11 billion Ghana cedis. Tor is the only company with negative equity in Ghana here. Negative equity, which means what is but these workers are there, over 800 of them are there, kicking against any government policy or person. We should not allow any public utility worker union there to blackmail us. As of mine, we should be very straightforward with our policy and direct.
Very well, Ben. I'm grateful for your time. Why? Ben Insia Adameneno at the Encombon Executive Director Eddie Masemse speaking to us. But Mamene Doc so every lines in so unfortunate. It's 1:09. Thank you for your time. Convert.
Yeah, Kwame.
Yes, Mamin Tio na bre mu mame na Union so atenase waba. And come center himself.
Daladi. Dala kwaba.
Amachi. No, Najime so.
In the major of Phantom.
Better you know.
Never Phantom. Me Phantom now. Muye one say.
I'm also Muye.
Yabedru.
I call ya Abba.
Mama nine.
You're the boy of Ghana for you know. Why? Mate.
Yes, Kwame.
Yes, Baby Browse would have been Tio Kakra on the subject I are discussing now. But Juma Yanubi or why you be Obola de Diano and the Ashanti region. So I remember, but Mammy Tio on the substantive issues I had the home common.
Okay,
Mammy call line one.
Okay, no problem.
Mammy Dr. Daniel appear ending combo a quick one. Emra. Doc, what do you mean? Can imagine?
Better one can pay my
Doc Medasi Papa Pasano pay watching so. Now, generally, John Mahama, His Excellency, has taken office in about 7-8 days now. and then exactly 1 week you didn't know AC akonya so but mean so far and more our 2 appointment one making I mean directives are by revocation of appointment and need the way forward for the general governance of our state.
I mean, Oshe and a more bino to measure every baby, like I say, the more Nabaso. The number of ministries are bino it may reduce from 30 at the about 23. And say only one area Ghana for the brain, especially Brinano, Yadrian Coben, say your ministries no endorse no. Ministers a fairness a drain on the public purse and I say you seeker you say ministers
thank you very much Mr. Chair.
So I know as you reduce the ministries from 30 about 23 into honum no you bono about now Oshe appointments and so why so far no so now like I say we appoint you more almost a proud experience almost several as deputy ministers into any more fee now one more about the area and as someone in DS and a managing ministry. How so me born or abaso because more appointed to me give some more competence which office of Attorney General Dr. Dominic Ayene or a Minister of Finance Atto Forsen and about to Forsen and Minister for Energy now. Or proud experience. Or more experience, somebody been so now any experience and said the other side, and so Mukra, almost problems and our challenges are some of the ministers and almost see and somebody had them also much as now, may Kobe be a man say, I think I'm expect to say, and Cabana bit me to the Namon can say, so share a party no manifesto. And the Oma title no first 120 days social contract na. There it kind was through and say Oma say the party shall nominate within the first 14 days the complete list of cabinet ministers for parliamentary approval. Yes, so I buy in year 7 no like I say year now pepe.
Yes.
In the akana or manifesto no say complete list of cabinet ministers on Ben nominated and also ewi Niama Kumu yes na Banishan some nominated ministers na edoso and inteno now Trebaqua Akayino mean to me who say bit me achieve with our target and not some Ben nominated a cabinet complete list of cabinet ministers now. Or your constitution, cabinet ministers should not be less than 10 and should not be more than 19. Now, nominate almost so area or say a parliament and so in your butcher, no more young pence and pence and move a woman and family approval. As I said, now clear there, a year complete list of cabinet ministers, no bit maybe no more faithful list are part of the party manifesto. No, and see how no said, yeah, they will eka or honour.
Very well, and no, then it means he's on course. But so far, also revocation of appointment of a year board chairpersons and members of public corporations, commissions, and the also the revocation of appointment at the MMDCs, and also Ewoho plus many other. And the Abano, the revocation of appointment for the executive director and chief executive at the Minerals Income and Investment Fund. I mean, and you many be who was na ebinsu ye nipa edi. Is that the rightful way to go? And as I said, at least until Sabine be take full shape, no, Sanim the Fuin no etina ho ye adwuma kakra.
The Presidential Transition Act na.
Yeah.
A man abaya obemono equine first steps I will take no to me take it. At the same time, say your son say when you say revoke a appointment for of MMDCs, any board members near them power vacuum everybody. And then your critical sectors of the state, need to say a local government. at the end of the day, and then I share a year in municipal district and metropolitan assemblies in and then and then I'll be revoke a appointment of MMDC. None can be expected to by now, dear, or send our nominated minister for local government at the end of the day.
Okay.
They are my son or revoke now free ye being authority and a voice be or authoritative a free throw a direct MMDS a or some of us are omioma. But so best sorry now feel be when say a party phobia na tax phobia na phobia any more a boy assembly be and I boy regiment could be more now for ye pam or ye jumo honomada. And after any minister be or the authoritative voice about the directors needs to be any man. Honorable Major was a bino FNE. And many yaka now she ran your channel. Many budgets and come who say minister for local government be ya appointed. Oceania my see what baby to say a jura and so a use be a police station. Now afraid Basabasa Korma, which means the ministry be a very critical. The Ministry for Interior, also a list of 23 years. Interior, Minister for Interior, because the same appointed no our bed directed near Mati Besibiako, internal security, and no money at the Sana, Major say, no, a hard drink kakra. I was a buying in any issue.
We are told, sir, I don't know. And you're politically motivated. And no your chroma, almost say police, and your you may drivers armed robbers say attack you or how much you were quite so. A few days ago, one more cocoa over 70-year-old driver. And no na Edisa Basabasa, a bar edra. And I don't know specifically no and you're politically motivated.
Let me say, men can't say politically motivated, but now me can't say a whole Jumano. Juma, yes, President Kessben, Minister for Interior. I was an inside, and that's one. So be a nominating. I was say, or take control over Nyoma Etesa because internal security, and here ye pa. Let me say now, here by me, party, a national Thanksgiving service. I was inclined. And so, may say be a mini security expert yet. And so, say, will be a minute, the baby or baby, and be to me cry walk in. Will be a say be a then so bottom, and answer then the crowd, and I say be a woman father, dear be a man, say be a baby, and honor not many ends. And not me expect to say, Minister for Interior, now more or more a work to me a better internal security arrangement at the time. Or the appointee or baby to say Ministry of Education so a school way air for na pay a more free a fine some of come being a baby ada now one aspect and so problem test one by now I was say yes President you be nominate a Minister for Education and I help on society into their critical sectors of the economy. Yes, but by now the nominees should have been out just as your nominee finance and energy and attorney general.
We are 1 week down the line until we hope, say, I mean, within this week, next week, appointment, but just as they have promised. Doc, I know I'm highly grateful.
You mean so, me that was it.
You. And Dr. Daniel Appiah is with the Public Administration Department of the University of Ghana, speaking to us at a governance expert, telling us more about the Ayakoso no Sese. 12 minutes after 9, this is Kessben. Manager Maakye.
Yeah, near me. Yeah, they are the Moko. Oh, yeah, they are see a crowd, but say you pay, very nice into your pay. Oh, say, cow. Baby, so I say, I say, oh, the why you can cry. Sana, you need a bearman and I shake.
Manager. November, I'm not okay.
You made it,
Manager. And say, Rayma, every Bayport savings and loans, now the family Bayport for Edin Komo briefly na afe yaba ababeto aso in the studio. But afe na shase 2024 ye no bon komo ye adwuma bebre ekra mfaso dia e wo fixed deposit ho anopay menim se manager atinase ye no ho komo ana wode eba manager obi ahụ ye dia
pacho irade adom Bayport ashare boko and ye fa sa kwenya so ma ye nyina e ho official plan so
I think come to your face so afisa say na ahoden wo ho
sa ahoden ne sika ne enwosra wo ho bebre
amen sika de ho hia nti abo bi ma me mo
mate
my ending komo
yo anape so ya da se me fa sa kwenya so chia Kessben etifo ne ahwefo nyina yesi afefo from and ehun be hia so se yesi afefo from no yesi count to ye no so ye behwe na ya ye ho akwan yi se de be ya ebe ma afe no akoyi ama ye nyina enti no ende de ye futuo na Bayport ye de to etifo ne ahwefo nyina etiemu ane se 2025 ese unya a financial goal usika semu ntotoe no ese ode botae bi esi weni so na botae bi si weni so a eho behia se obenya sika krabia ode ho to so a problem bia emba enu nti na Bayport anape ye pese eni udi enkomo kakra na ye hwe kwan e fa so a ebetumi aboa na usika semu ntotoe in 2025 no ebe ye soronko achen the past year no enti Bayport Savings and Loans a multinational brand yaye ejuma o Ghana for over 21 years and we have operations in 9 countries across the world. Ye wo products from Kubia no yaye e koma ubia say o 18 years na o a means of raising 5,000 kwa dia you qualify to sign on to this unique product a friend of fixed deposit no enti no fixed deposit say udu sika to sika krabia emre bi se de be ya ne butai nyina ne se obenya emfaso wo so enti flexible a ye wo 3 months there ye wo 6 months there and ye wo 1 year there enti yesi 2025 mu afine be ko ne wieye na opese wo raise sika bia there should be a goal. What set to go newie no? How will you achieve this goal? And nuntina anape uhumi. And the numbers here good screen is we may ma encheche mono. You can pick the numbers. Ubet me a WhatsApp yen, ubet me a chat yen, ubet me a fre na yabuao. Entino enfaswa ubenya ewo Bayport fixed deposit no hono. Bebre. The kind say ye promise so attractive and competitive interest. And faswa udu sika be to Bayport obenya no very very attractive ya kono na and it doesn't come with any bank charges. Enti semprimprina ya ka say you the 5,000 abet to Bayport say oh you fixed deposit for 1 year. 1 year ne be so no 5,000 no e be 6,300. Say oh the 20,000 to Bayport fixed deposit more for 1 year. 1 year no usika aye 20,000 no ebe 25,200 oye 50,000 so for 1 year in a year's time 50,000 ebe wo na be 63,000 na eba se eso na uhia usika nso a within 24 hours unsaka usika opese wo ye withdrawal opese wo san ye investment ni biom nso a akwenya ewo ho. And these are the few examples mabobo entino this year ye can for fixed deposit Bayport fixed deposit amobia se moye ejumaku se moye sorry se moye fund managers wankasa so pese uye bia as an individual is open. The minimum is 5,000 cedis and above. Ubetumi nso aye rate negotiations amount na ode ba no e drew 100,000 and above nso a akwenya wo ho se ye hwe interest na ye kan wasem. Bank of Ghana my license ye de ye ejuma enti ejuma ye ne hote and for the past 21 years we've been doing business enti no ye ba ye a ye pese this year 2025 no yɛboa obia na ne sikasɛm botae ɔpɛ sɛ oduru ho no yɛboa no ma oduru ho enti numbers ne yɛ 0245 15 32 83 anaasɛ 026 300 79 22 yes ofrɛ yɛn a manager meka sɛ ofrɛ me a wobɛnya me na yɛdi nkɔmmɔ wopɛ sɛ yɛboa wo na wotete wo nneɛma so budget yɛboa wo how to prepare how to cut down on your expenses ne adeɛ nyinaa yɛbɛboa wo sɛdeɛ ɛbɛyɛ a wo this year no ɛbɛyɛ so unique na wobotaeɛ a wopɛ sɛ woduru ho no wadu nti
but obi wo ho no ma on the account with Bayport obi wo ho no ma wo ka sɛ ya na ye ka sɛ na wo tie yɛn on CV wo Bayport da ode mo nya adwuma bia embo mo da nti why ne qualify sɛ I mean obetumi de ne ho ahye mo bi
okay nti no obi a obetumi a qualify sɛ obebie sa fixed deposit account ni bi obi a wenya 18 years or Ghana card nti sɛ wo ye Ghanaian na wo Ghana card now a minimum of 5,000 na ebro so a ye di ni nyina ene de unlimited sika ne kese bia no de Bayport Australia you betumi aya amount you need to have a Ghana card and 18 years and above pacho eno na obetumi dey qualify e bia account ni bi nti ye bebie savings account amawo a eno mu na obeye investment ahodo nyina nti no ende wo 5,000 why first investment maybe in a month's time wasanya another 5,000 you can equally do a second investment and also be run it separately but will be in the same account now will be able to be put into as long as you have funds I drew 5,000 or per se we invest in akwenya ewo homa o so the be ya be boa ma o sika 7 faso no so akọ nenimpa
but church mo chira kwan na fa numbers no etu dwa biem say obi pese oba mo nchen ni mo bedi nkomo a hefa na wonko numbers be na won free
okay in Ghana ha ye wo 56 locations in Ghana
okay
enti bibia wo a wo hwe a wotie uni Ghana kra na or email we can even communicate through email forms I bit me send ya ma o na ya ye bibia ma o said ya ya be discuss no afi so o Ghana ha nso a o frɛ na yehu bibia o a ye be hwɛ nearest branch a ben se uni Accra ha na ya direct o na waba na ya hwɛ kama anu firi ho nso na se o Accra ha na kasoa winiba ne nimpotemu a obetumi aba Accra ye wo kokomlemle ye ben ATTC Accra Technical Training College ye ne omo edi nhwani mu nti uduru ho na ofre nko ade a obetumi aba ya hwe ho na ya hwe na ya boa this year a good year na decisions ni bi wo a we need to start right nti first week second week ya uni account brani mbi account ma na yemboa o na yen save no kakran na afe no beso no na onfa so no aye bebre me pa cho numbers ni biom 0245 15 32 83 and I say 026 300 79 22 yes
very well made us manager
yes,
I'm grateful for your time Mwajuma the anya body system no mo bia no ebefre mo etimi aboa ma hoton so etimi apa chocho soap e wo dwaman so pacho ye di dware I don't know chocho herbal fresh a yeast skin rashes scars ahodo ni nyina no e clear ni nyina e techu mo pimples e wo mo ni mo bebre no se wo yesu chocho soap e de ye wo seminar wo di dware da bia no a yini nyina no e di free ho ama wedi nani e da so pa wa wo pese wo toni wo skin no de wa wo seminar se wo yesu a ni chocho soap yeah, about one no, and no, a chocho herbal fresh and a fee. What the liquid soap and pacho, ye pa. Now, any just no, any say, Nina, no, a purely natural herbal, 100%. Your baby be a chemical, be no, any, I don't pay bra, na be give me, nato, natombi, and bebwa, a picture wood, you know, a more. but chocho bam no ewo waposo ye oya ifre juma ekofia ya na wote ya pa no pay you so chocho bam no na emwa wo the best wo joint ahodo ni nyina na be clear pain ni nyina no the amount na e review ma won so ohu echemi ato chocho skin toner no but ma we de enkasa emma we nya de po we de ni be da bi oye tuntuma be ma wo we de no agie ne ho tuntum ni be pie na ufe di se wo ba to se de bi nu ya ye odi wo sti di tuntum se yo pa chocho skin toner no ebeboa body cream no ho asem na make and no pay you so be na emwa we ye chocho shower gel medical culture that you so it a lot of good fragrances ma ho hwam ye pa and no pay ebeboa pa chop no do mo tu a kosuhum na woni wo mo ending komo emfri na wo mo ebeje wo so ye wa wo pe no do mo tu a to speak to them one beje na booster bar mixture number 1 immune system booster. I don't pay a year in combo will be a yare board kakra bia na akano ede na to form. But your immune system now you weak and effectively one more me and kuntia yare bia. I don't pay boost to come one kutia yare na a pay yare air bedding and one more me and fighting. But your core shops in Mubenya in Busudoni Biato, chemical shops, and then pharmacies are doing in at home be and pay only one more ending combo and more from one more on 0246 208496 0246 208446. Now when you want more 8496, now when you want more ending and combo. So I hear Abu 28 minutes after 9. Now we're back to the studio. My record for report so not yening come on. Pacho your numbers no 0550567929 0550567929. I know any numbers are the edge messages swinging now. What about your jacking kind in our area amount? What before my mouth so that means you.
Yes, Kwame.
Yes.
My man and also Akwaba. Awol. Absent without leave. So I started moving it down.
There was a slight leave.
The absent without leave. Because let me producer no. Let me production GBC. The la Munta Kabubarak na Korebia or the Maya na Okasa or the Samuel Finaleba. No, yes, well, the DPO late if you know ma. On a day pest assistant to Muntaka. DPO late eti Obania fen the late to ma.
Charlie.
Yes, Kwame. Yesterday I watched the vetting. Was a nice to watch all the 3 nominees. Maakye Appiah. I took my time, Kwame. I watched the vetting.
Okay.
Now, let me say this, Kwame.
Yes.
2016. Ebeka 3 months. When the electionary campaign was at its peak, and on Mampeni, a nominate a branch be fenu uti bless.
Okay.
Say Uncle Deputy Minister for Local Government and Rural Development, no free Western region. So I appear before the vetting committee, no, and all the appointment committee members, no say he made a wide allegation be any some dangerous remarks be on Macfa Chief Justice Georgina Wood, former Chief Justice, and some judges and the Supreme Court on it. Akwagan Obekaisa Muntie 3 issue nearby. The Muntie people were jailed partially, and that guy no Okamubi. It won't qualify say as I say your money minister. In fact, the minority at that time decided say or more approval, and some of the majority so crackers or more nominating. It almost disapprove. 26 October, and a parliament the base to swaba, which is the voice votes, and the guy sailed through. You understand? Those who say eyes you say eye for eye, and you won. And acquire the deputy minister for 3 months. Kwame. Omanpenyi John Dramani Mahama. He said we want to reset this country.
Yeah.
Kwame. The resetting of this country, it is not only about recovering loot properties of this country. It is not about fixing the struggling economic indicators of this country, but integrity and honesty. And Kofo free say, free it has been evaporated from this country. So ultimately restore, people will start investing their hope in President Mahama. I remember I read this book, Working with Rollins, which Professor Kwame Appiah made some revelation be about Nkofo na President Rollins a sign a pen sign a signature ni yokuku omo se omudi nyambra sama. Then they went to President Rollins and say the international communities, they have started speaking against a normal way. In order for the revolution to make popular, let's stop all these things. They stopped the revolution. People started embracing the revolution. President Mahama should know say obi oye propagandist biya oba appear before the vetting committee. Say a bonwa on withdraw the nomination. Kwame, you bring your hope. Say this country, we are really resetting this country. Uncracking the whip of resetting the country. Now obi bia wa making wide allegation. Obi bia making unsubstantiated remarks. I want me to substantiate before the vetting committee. You withdraw the nomination because Oko in this year they have quality, competent individuals. So today, Nana nu honomwa, somebody will be there equally to Nana. Kwame Appiah Kubi nu ha, somebody equally to Kwame Appiah Kubi, maybe better than Kwame Appiah Kubi will be there. Yesterday something happened. You remember the loggerheads between Gideon Boako and Atofos? Gideon Boako say, Dr. Gideon Boako, in fact, he won a lot of people's hearts yesterday. And he was a man of the movement on the appointment committee yesterday as a first timer, Obiaoye, first time a member of parliament. Now we'll show how he grilled and dazzled himself on the appointment committee. I dropped my heart for Dr. Gideon Boako. He did well. Yesterday he said that look, Ora Kesilato forces organizing lectures. B. Emma or the figures be Barbontin for Ghana economic indicators. I don't want to bore the tea for a while, but let me cut it short. Now, some figures are accurate.
Yeah.
Now, no, I to force him say I didn't accurate. So is he ready to apologize to Ghanaians? Which the chairman of the committee are here for. Drawn attention, say he has no right to tell the nominee to apologize. It is not their part of their standing orders. Say Bibi Bonwa on one about but it shouldn't come from Dr. Gideon Boako. Understood? But you see, Atofose did something. He said that look, fine. Everything that I said, I got the data from the IMF. Imagine, Kwame, say, had it not been the IMF data, and not copy the film or did the team in the back when Timia substantiated with the Dr. Gideon Boako was with a volume of facts. Kwame na ko the kwina so by. And such a person so tantua Kwame no kwina so by. We entreat President Mahama. Such things will be happening. Sanoma ekosu bebrebesi our vetting committee na say. Your conform tantua a fact. And Kofua, I'm making allegation here. They know perfectly where sending the correct. Someone appear before the vetting committee. No man to me stop that shit here. You drop nomination. Then people will say that we are resetting this country. Ora Victor Smith, former aide to President Rawlings, 2009, appeared before the vetting committee as the Eastern Regional Minister. And Ombudsman said, there was a time you were on radio. On the newspaper, captured a newspaper, international communities, they were all watching, reading this newspaper. Say, President Kofa Koto oil concession, Kuwait, and now Oduomoka $5 billion, it will be to this country, the Akwakutia. Safax, they tell us more. He apologized and said that it was a political talk. Obi a wetimi atantro ni approve the nomination. No akwakoya regional minister. Obi a ni integrity, uni on integrity. Wetimi defend this ade no. Madam Ama Benuado say Nanado Danko Kufuado edili cocaine. Were narcotic during the 2008 elections. Or for narcotic to Odabu NPP, a narcotic National Narcotic People's Party NPP. You understand? National Narcotic Party NPP. Obubusane say, okay, tell us more. Because Nanado Danko Kufuado new patriotic party for Obu presidential candidate and you're defeating him. Who's who deal cocaine? Tell us more so that we can deal with him. Was a political talk, but her nomination was approved. No acquire regional minister. Yeah, we are resetting this country. Obi obebe bia obeka someone as someone want to mean kano President Mahama and Sakeno may trust President Mahama because if Victoria Hama said that, look, if I get $1 million, or then I know the kind of keke one Korea obi asika. What he say?
Intention on
ye de sake no meboa. Eti say obi bie na no keke se menya $1 million me creative politics. Nes ye sake na dia e obi twantro. Nes obetra vetting committee on wetimi and substantiate a. Yen consider ne say on integrity. Yen consider ne say on your honest person. Yen consider ne say all follow within the category of the resetting of this country. That person should be dropped.
Okay. All right. My brother Nadia should not mean tier one. So Nadia, my brother should have been tier.
Mini Amadasi. And I'm a kind of Becco Fantinti. Becco Fantilai. Vima Medaban Fantilai. I'm a conde. But I mean, sure. Mini speaker. It's here for Yami Church will be a na. Taking it from baby and my brother. Neda, even though to forcing doctor or kind data onyawo IMF and still they came back to refute that thing there, that data they gave, because he went back to the ministry to get a data as well. You understand? And Dr. Gideon Baku still came back to say he's challenging that one as well. And I think, like you're saying, you know, Dr. Atofosi Nya BB from the IMF to battle it. So, Ojin Hund Film Kakra. But let's come back to appointment. And I think there's still more to be done. Like you said, there's a window. We'll be there. I mean, from some few days to come, the president has to do. But I think health and agri should have been part of this one. For me, I mean, I've heard people agitating several times. For the current ones, in three an hour ban. Or I mean, if you don't have time to reset the country, just do things quickly. I know there were some lobbying idea or but President Mama should quicken up and add this one, agri and health.
I mean, very key. It's just exactly 1 week he was wanting to work.
Yes,
right?
but he doesn't have time.
He's made some appointments.
How many? 3. So far, substantive.
For the presidential ones, they come one.
Oh, those ones are just they don't have locus like this one. These ones are
you have chief of staff doesn't have.
Oh, but chief of staff you have to.
Because
the first things you have to do.
Saying that a lot of the things happening now, he is the one overseeing it.
Yes, fine. I'm saying that they are very important. Those things are key things you have to do. When President Kufuor came, he did the same thing. Make a fancy. Profundosa. Make a fancy. President Kufuor by them up the man. I remember in 2016 he did that Wonifie Nima when he mentioned announcing them quickly. That was the first thing he did. announcing the people. So on the fine, but the main substantive ministries in I thought the health and agri should have been part of it. On the phone on yesterday, Dr. Cassil, or clarify there, it's not Cassil, but it's Cassil. Dr. Cassil at 247. Or yeah, then Neda. There, how to expand the tax revenue compliance. No Onanka there, Onanka Sabako GRA for her. He will dedicate his time to do that. Fantastic. But is it the only way we can raise revenue, expand the tax net? No, there are other ways to do that. If you are abolishing e-levy and betting tax, what are some of the things you're bringing? For me, on that aspect, he is in a answer not mine. It wasn't for me. I mean, if you
and you're
convincing enough for me, it wasn't enough there. You only rely on compliance. People, how many of us pay tax? About 13% or something or more. More than 30% of us pay tax. So what else are you going to bring on board to ensure that all these huge challenges are all facing, you are able to solve it? I wasn't satisfied with that one. Secondly, we'll be saying on the cocoa pricing.
Yes.
Whether it will be 6,000 because he said it. Coming back to what you said, you said when you are in opposition and you are campaigning, it's good to say certain things, but it wasn't definite on it that you pay them 6,000 like he said. And some of these things, they should be careful. There are people.
Yes, but there were explanations to that effect. And the responses, were that one in the previous government.
Yes.
The Cocoa Board was moved from the Ministry of Finance, a call back to the Ministry of Agri.
Yes.
Okay, and then in that case, what it means is that the finance minister will not have an oversight responsibility over Cocoa Board.
So you work with.
I'm coming.
Okay.
Then in the response, and it's there has to be a committee. I want put it in place to ensure the price setup for the purchase of the cocoa. Okay. Now, I was doing some calculations vis-a-vis the market price of cocoa as it stands now, and then what the world price is vis-a-vis. Say, averagely, Ghana ni abankas will do no crack the ama Ghana cocoa is to be sold around 9,000 Ghana cedis.
Yes,
that is the fact.
I agree.
O share cocoa the boy yeto e would drama in so okay. Now we share the price buying a day ma womona. What it be free ma? A bag of cocoa is to be sold at 9,000 Ghana cedis. But currently we are selling it at 3,000 or more, okay, which is the current state, which is a very good thing. Now they're promising to move it to 6,000 Ghana cedis. Will have to be a decision at Cocoa Board and that committee, okay, will take. So, to a far extent, I may want to agree with him because as a finance minister, I said, only oversight, direct responsibility over that sector, it will be difficult. He mentioned and said, but I believe that once the committee decides, he has no option than to pay.
Yes, so it's feasible. It's feasible.
It's feasible. Exactly.
From the explanation, it's feasible. So we are looking forward to exactly what he will say.
Okay.
But also, Nida, I think I like Appiah marking to an extent. I think yesterday he was also belaboring the point. He was overdoing certain things. But some of the questions he asked were key. And Atufosen doctor couldn't go straight to answer them. Will you be able to pay for first year's tertiary education like you promised? He said he wasn't in the office yet. But I think does he have to come into office before? No, you say it was a campaign promise.
Exactly.
You understand? So you should give us an answer which is straightforward. He wasn't able to give the answer. Because if a first year student is going in and knows very well there, whether university, because if you say tertiary, it's not only the university, there are nursing training,
colleges of
education, a lot of them. If you are not able to answer this question straight, and he said, until you go into office, this is a campaign promise. It's like, will you be able to remove e-levy? Will you be able to remove betting tax? Yes, I'll do it. But why can't you be sure of paying for the first year tertiary education student to enter like you promised. So that one, so yesterday for me, these are some of the pointers I'll pick. Maybe I'll come back to talk about it when we get to substantive issues as well.
The time not so we there's time there's substances, you know.
The time no contamu. What about then? Because topic your my energy crowd.
Control time.
Privatization idea and ways of
the offer to know
about
but there's something happening. Richard from Bola no video on it so and that report was trying to raise a lot of concerns.
I heard him raise one or two issues on sanitation. I passed it. I saw it. It's an eyesore.
Middle of the
my main setting records in this street.
It's an eyesore.
My main setting records in this street.
Okay.
Yeni what this side of the road. Yeni hono bola biango. My main setting.
Yeni hono.
Yeni no the yeni bola biango. Now across the street, you know.
Opposite.
Echo the other side of the road. This is the Kumasi Accra main road.
Okay.
Across the other side. Ana wuhu de wuhu. Okay, inti odo rice kwine in the da hono baby a motorbike ni free band. Now free a year Accra Central ana air bar. That is it. I mean, you look at it. Where you Dubai and I say maybe an America said trotro for the
this is bad. This is what on your crowd. This is very
this is how you see
this is it a dumping site already?
This is how indisciplined we are as a people.
Yes.
This is how indisciplined. This is how indisciplined we are.
Wow.
Say yeah.
Wow, this is bad.
You feel ya dream musu fee ya correct. From Accra Central no oko a circle Dubai yasia. Baby, you know, your friend is saying fire service one office. A also now wait, a clotically assembly. Clotically assembly. Or Brasport, baby, will be a baby demonstration. I walk on. And then I walk here, I know.
Oh, this is bad.
Richard, for us, this is the now there is something happening in the Ashanti region. Ashanti Regional Secretary of the NDC and the regional chairman. It's a nice one. My team.
Just 3 days after the Hammer is issued, the regional chairman named Penny 4. He decided to see a baby, never share, and said they had a chair. For appointed regional minister, I had no offer Babaton. There were Mahama Bias anytime be over a year Ashanti region. I had no offer because not Tissot as Mampenino or Bas Antimantem Habiana. Is the so this guy can see high hotels or Bontino, now presidential Villa Wahano, and no one where they were now. Hereby, in fact, a Hussein. Because he be a cost of say over 8 years now. I buy moon penny for whether president to whether regional minister. A moon to a monarch crown fancy had that. Now the I say, but be a president's bank or much now, but be a regional minister, so the regional chairman can be a buyer of Betina. A moon Yamania, Master Sadia Edico. Now the SIR where say, I hear a presidential seat, I am minister, as also a halo. A more bomber, I have by a Ghana police and military. If the Ghana police catch as a Panyampa and to be able to air condition can see the Atunachi at the Anantia, the Babachum, the Afriha, Oman. Frames are a year Bogla proof, names, animal, Yamaya, the Ashes, windows, and the admin. My building, almost to Lina. It will be better to have to Nadia Kakraka and more do radio free. A bra state security will be from the Nyamu. If yet, a Dimuna have said. Yet, Obi wa you trying to call. Hands of one night the man. I want a estate manager or where and 9 or Hannes. In purchase here, Pianica 8 years and hands of one crown in some woes, and they put to be brave free demo. And the one say, a friend sounds like they are doing that by then. Because I will be able to need the issue of this neglect goes beyond their partisan politics. When they president and regional minister of Ebano, so say a bicycle non to high with Tomana. I mean, no, if you friend is Sikana, a buying was saying, here you say, as a mate here. Now, go for Adwa. regional minister baya as party mpanifo ye ya bra make sure say party be bapa wa yamba say ye go mahama be say akọ and a party be say akọ hunye ma yoku mu no ye were particular interest in making sure say regional minister baya the first thing I want you say omwa ebetena ha na was nko mo hwe make sure say a buildings e wo ha nyina no e well kept no regional minister the first tax agana for every free o make sure say there's accountability so far as this issue are concerned because ye jna onye ye dis am before say chairman kan o mo ntro chapa o mo kono mo na no mo no mo ba be ka say mo original coordinating council na ye basa no me wa mo na ye ha basa yi na me say me be say me hu pa regional Kessben no fa so a na woni ba bi da because uba as regional minister or minor and about bra baby obetna the lady and the cake ho na and into the embassy we boka bibiri nti no na regional minister residency e wo ho e proba 8 years nyina na want na ha ni woman ko for be wia furniture ni bibie wo hai e fa na no wote why na me tua sa motole
Bayam Ponko, why a time I saw the boy, the watch them, okay, watch Nano. I don't do me any bar, I don't need the best I said now. And the home come about you, what should I buy? But you better any Rasa Mono said the home come. The Ashanti Regional Coordinating Council video now was shared, and that is the Ashanti Regional Secretary of the NDC, or the regional chairman in almost Omoko to Ewo, or China Gabea Doma Yaba, Yanio Munidan, so Ebekasa, now yet to me at the home.
Kwame said just 30 seconds. You say, and Kranza, Asudiabapa, okay, Nana Bafu. Emra akoso asi akire kotoko hene okay otufu say to the second it is in kranza for nya mahene okay nyame adomara pa isi pinche ne benna adedi ya da nyame as all right Kwame, that was the Kwame Appiah Kubi, Mr. Speaker. I'm highly grateful and